Good afternoon. Today is the 30th of July and this is part 4 of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the 2025 BMC Leyland show here at the British Motor Museum at Gaydon in Warwickshire. I do apologise in advance if I get things wrong, if I fall over, if there's wind noise, if I get interrupted by people or anything else. I'm afraid it's just the way that it goes in this channel. So we're looking at some minis, not particularly this thing here, which is one of the newest models I think that Mini make, but we'll go on to have a look at this classic Mini. This one is a Mark II. It's Morris Cooper Mark II. Look at the information sheet. It's a 1968 and it's for sale. There we go. Asking for about £18,000. Call 07834 467 237. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. It does look rather nice. This is the 998cc version. It's got some cosmic alloy wheels on it. That does look to be in rather nice condition. Another Mark II here. This is just a 1275cc Cooper S. 69 to 70, actually probably a 69 to be honest, because they went to the Mark III later on in 1969. It's very good. Then we're a slightly early one here. Look at the rear lights. Still a Mark II though. About 67 perhaps. The Morris Cooper. Then a Mark I, a 1964 Austin Cooper S. So they do look a little bit different from the front, don't they, from the later ones. Another very nice 1965 Morris Cooper S in this classic colour with the green paint and a white roof. Apparently this is actually an evocation, it's not a real one, but never mind. Then we've got a Clubman Estate 1978-79 on a T with some more modern seats in it. Looks good. Another Mark I here, Austin Cooper S from 1965. The early Minis are just ever so basic. There's just not much to them whatsoever. Not that comfortable really. I don't really get on with the comfort level of the Minis. They just tend to actually cause me pain, so I don't get to drive them very much, unfortunately. Years. Down to an Austin Cooper S, but this is a much later car. It's a 1982 or 83 car, meant to look like a much earlier one. So it doesn't matter though particularly, but it's just what it is. So we've got Morris Oxford here, it's Series 6 I think this is. Just by the badge on the back, we've probably got a 1.8 engine in here as opposed to the original 1.6 that would have been in these cars. 68-69 registration. And then we've got a very nice Westie Mark II, 1966 on a D. I must have a go in one of these at some point in my life, viewers. I haven't quite managed it yet, but there we go. And then we've got the Van den Pla version, the Princess. This to me looks like the 3 litre version rather than the 4 litre version.
Shall I take that as well?
It's a Van den Pla, it's automatic as well. And we've got an A55 Mark II Cambridge. This would be before 1962 because they went on to the A60, which had a larger engine in 1961. They do actually look quite different, the A55 Mark IIs and the A60s, where they're very similar. 1967 Austin Westminster. We've got to bring off the C-Series engine there, and a very nice beige leather interior with wood, and a picnic set, excellent period one. Very good. Beautiful. And then an Austin Cambridge Countryman, I think they call these. I think the Countryman's kept the sort of earlier style rear lights and fins, even when the A60s came in 1961. You can see the front end is very different from the A55 Mark II. MG Magnet, equipped with BMC special tuning parts apparently. Got some later seats in here and also a more modern gearbox with overdrive. There we go. Then Wolseley 1616 1965. These were a bit more luxurious than the Austin Morris versions, although we still haven't got a rev counter, which is a shame, but some of them did come with rev counters if you look at the Riley versions. Another Wolseley here, 6869 on a G. The Wolseley ones actually continued with the Morris Oxford until 1971, when they were effectively replaced by the Marina. See if we can actually find one with the earlier fins. Even later Oxford here, 1970-71 registration. Still got a relatively basic dash in it, a very 60s looking dash. So it would have been quite a dated car by the time production finished in Cowley. Very plain looking front end in comparison to some of the other variants. And we've got something rather extraordinary here. This is an Austin Apache. This is a later variant of the AD016s that was made in South Africa as the Austin Apache, and then in Spain as the Austin Victoria. So these are very, very rare over here. Very kind of interesting looking car. Kind of, I don't know why they perhaps didn't introduce something like this in this country. I think they look great, actually, personally. Then we'll have a look at this Morris Oxford here. Again, a very late one, 70-71 on a J. With the actual wing mirrors. 1960 Austin A60 Cambridge, but 3 days after the introduction of the A60, so a very early one. Fins are actually quite different on these. Dear me, viewers, this really is shambolic, isn't it? Can't keep the sneezes away today. So there we go, very early A60. And then an MG ZT from 2005. Presumably one of the club owners as this. It's nice X-Power grey. Doris. What engine do you have, Doris? Say V6 probably. Could be a 4-cylinder actually. No clear on the back. Never mind, we will continue. Aha. Is this the thing we saw the other day, in which case we will be skipping it? Right, move on to the next bit. So this is an A55 as opposed to the later A60, actually A55 Mark II. You can see the grille is completely different on these earlier ones. And also at the back, the fins are different. They are much more sort of pronounced on these, with a bit more chrome trim on them as opposed to the A60 ones. And there you go. Wolseley 6110, this was the sort of Wolseley badge version of Westminster, and this is the one that you saw an absolute ton of them used by the police in all those 60s kind of Edgar Wallace type things, films, and episodes of The Avengers and Department S and Man in the Suitcase and Strange Report and all that kind of stuff. And there we go, here is that modified Morris Oxford again. So 82, 83 Metro 1.3 HLE, complete with a parking wand. So we've got the upper spec headlamps on this actually as well. Then we've got something very late here, a Metro GTA. I don't really know why they made the GTA and the MG at the same time, because ultimately they're very, very similar. I don't quite understand that, but there we go. Maybe it's just a limited edition to use up bits towards the end. 8990 on a G. Nice condition. Here is an MG, of course. Earlier one, which is still a Mark 1. 1984 this will be, because a facelift occurred in late 84 when it became the Mark 2. Then a very nice MGB GT with the Roadstar wheels, they call these. And a nice Webasto style sunroof. Another TR7, Solihull built car. 1980 to 1981 registration. We saw plenty of these earlier on. We have an absolute ton of these. And then a TR6, quite a late one, 1974 to 1975 on an N with hard top. And a lovely Rover 25 GTI. These are only made from 2000 to 99 it was, late 99 they came out, till 2002. This is a 2001 car. One I drove in 2023 was a 5-door. This is a 3-door. 1990 to 1991 Rover 416 GSI. At the time, the GSIs didn't come with standard alloy wheels or a standard leather interior. You could get ABS as an option as well on these, or air conditioning. This one looks like it's quite standard. It hasn't got, I don't think, air conditioning or ABS or the alloy wheels or the leather interior. This is how the GSI sort of came. You needed to add those on to make them better. And then a nice Cowley built Rover 75 on a V-plate, black sills, so Cowley built car. 2.5 V6, not a connoisseur because it's not a leather interior. Actually no, take a look, it has a leather interior. No, it probably is a connoisseur then, actually, the leather interior. Purcell line probably is interior as well. Very nice. Mini Piccadilly, 1986-1987, special edition, based on a Mayfair, I think. And then something even rarer than a Mini Piccadilly, a Leyland P76 with a V8 engine. These were made for Australian market, very, very short-lived car. All went a bit wrong for it, unfortunately. Shame I didn't sell them over here, really, but there we go. You know, new platform and everything. Shame. Mini Sidewalk, Mark 6 Mini, 94-95 on an M. There we go, sidewalk steering wheel as well. And an extraordinary interior, very, very 90s. We forget that sort of like the earlier 90s were very brightly coloured time with all kinds of what we would not call very tasteful things necessarily in them. Then we've got another pretty early Metro, more basic one with the sort of lower specification front end, probably like an L or something. We've actually got a passenger mirror and we've got a rear wiper, so it can't be a, you know, ultimate poverty spec one. Yes, I think that is an L. So we've got a couple of MGTFs here, 2004 and X-Power Grey. So you can see someone's packed very efficiently because that's all the space you get. You can't really put stuff in the front. You have to put it all in the back there. It's a TF160. And then we've got, this looks like Sunspot monogram yellow, this actually, rather than trophy yellow. I think so. Yeah, 2003 to 4, so similar age to the grey car. And then we've got the Midget and Sprite Club. This thing came in towards the sort of end of the time the cars arrived. 1.8 turbo. It's quite loud, that. 69 to 70. And we've got this very unique looking car with this sort of coupe bodywork on it. So you've got something that's modified Ford engine in this. 67, 68 on an F, then 67 Austin Healey Sprite. Again, modified for some competition, like most of them seem to be here. Probably safer to roll over bar, isn't it, and not have one. This is 66 Midget. Can't remember the Mark 3s came in. I think this is a Mark 3, so it'd be early Mark 3. And actually, this is a later Mark 3 here. Which has both the round arches, with the square ones where I can't remember now. I have driven the Mark 3, it was a 1968 car, I drove it in 2021. I just about managed to get in and out of it, because it's a bit challenging. And then I think this is an Arkley or something like that, which is a modified Sprite or MG Midget. I saw one of these recently actually, I think it's an Arkley. There we go, it is an Arkley, 69 to 70. The last one I saw was not the best. This is better. I prefer original design, to be honest. 71, 72 on a K. This particular Midget is, which is nice. And we've got one of the last Sprites. Now, right at the end, when they made the Sprite, this would be a 71 car. They didn't badge them as a Healey because they'd lost the name. They'd lost the name to sort of the letter rights to the Healey name. So this was just called an Austin Sprite, and here it is. And then they realised we didn't really need both of them, so they just continued to make the MG Midget. You can see here, this is another Austin Sprite again from 71. Not very different from VMG apart from the badges. Well, I might be bothered in a way, I suppose. This would be a Mark II, I think. So the original Frog Eye Sprites are the Mark 1s. I think this is a Mark II. We haven't got any door handles, so I think so. Then a MG Midget Mark II, I think this is. I admire anyone who can just jump in and out of these easily, because I can't. 1975 to 1976 MG Midget. Probably by then it's the 1500cc version. In fact, here is a standard looking one of the same era. Here we go, with the Triumph SC engine, with the black sills. This is what it looked like at this stage. They were also using a Triumph gearbox. So there we go. So viewers, the 200 VI. Yes, very rare. I think less than 15 of them remain on the road. But the same specification, actually, the engine, as the Rover 200 BRM. They're exactly the same. The 143 brake horsepower 1.8K series. That one's a 96, 97. I actually drove one of those. I've lost much furious driving a while ago now. And then we've got a very nice HHR Rover 400. This car just used to crop up just everywhere. All the shows I go to, we see this. And I think it's something like a 420i from memory. I forget now, because after 1996, I think they deleted the full badges on these cars, just put 400 on them. So you can't tell unless you actually know for certain what it is.
The full on full.
Thank you very much. So then we got this 2004 Streetwise. Drove one of these. When was it? 2023, I think it was. That TR6 is on the way out. Extraordinary colour. Streetwise was an attempt with virtually no money to kind of make a new type of car. Basically, a little bit like the contemporary Honda HR-V. Just raise the suspension a little bit, make the car look a bit tougher, and just use the old 25 or MGZR or 200 R3 platform. And to be honest, it was a bit ahead of its time. Actually, they do look quite good. They drive exactly the same, really, as a 25. Just, you know, there we go. So we'll have to skip that one, because we don't talk about certain types of car on this channel. I'm going to have a little look at this MG Express as well and just see if we can talk about it. That's a no view, so we're going to continue. MGZR facelift. Excellent. Another 25 GTI. Very good, viewers. Very similar to the one that I drove, although one I drove was not this one. It was a very similar car, but it wasn't this one. It was a different one. The Rover Commerce. Let's have a look at this one first, viewers, and then we'll just check out that Rover Commerce and see if it's all right. This one is a 200 R3 vehicle, which is the predecessor to the Rover 25. Probably a K series in there, I imagine. It's right to be cautious there, viewers. MGA 1600, probably about 1960. I was right. My gosh, I actually got that right for once, viewers. I'm not as terrible as I thought I was. There we go. 600 Mark 1 Deluxe. Then we've got a late Mini here, late Mini Cooper. Very, very interesting colour. I don't know if this is an aftermarket colour, because the seats seem to match it as well. But there we go, Mark 7 Cooper, 1998, 1999 on an S. I apologise, dudes. There's a mini tornado going on down here at Gaydon. We're going to continue as best we can. So we've got a Land Crab section here, 72-73 Morris 1800. It looks to be in rather nice condition, if I may say so. So it'd be a Mark 3. Here's a Mark 2, a little bit different. This time in Austin, 1800, 1971, 1972 on a K. Still very sort of basic, really. The one you want, I think, is the Wolseley. Here are a couple of Wolseley 1885s. This is a 68, 69 on a G. A bit more luxury in here. And the automatic gearbox selector on these is actually on the right hand side of the steering wheel, which is odd. This one is a bit later, 69 to 70 on an H. Still with that umbrella handbrake and the gear selector on the right hand side of the steering wheel. Even more luxurious is the Wolseley 6. Now this had the 6-cylinder version of the E series, which I've driven in a Princess. This one again is an automatic, still just a little bit austere for a luxury car, I think, but that's the way they always were. And we've got another one here, same sort of rear, 72-73 Wolseley 6. Someone's put a different interior in this. This has got a 4-speed manual in it, so you could get a manual or an automatic. Then a very exciting version of the Austin 1800 here. This is the S model. but it's had further modification as well, so probably a little bit faster than the standard. I think they were 95 horsepower actually, the standard 1800s. This will be a little bit faster than that. Very nice. And another Wolseley 6, again a 7273 on an L. This one's had some tinting done to it. Might need a new front wing at some point. But again, wheels on that look quite nice actually. Okay, viewers, let's have a look at some Tomcats. This is a late one, isn't it? Unusual being the 1.6K series, complete with a Nokia 6230i and a cradle there, and 1.6K series version with an automatic gearbox, CVT. Very unusual actually. Nightfire Red would be about 1998, something like that. Then we've got another Nightfire Red car, also with a later dash, which marks it out as being after 1995. Number plate would also suggest that, although it's a personal one. 1997 or later actually, that one. And then another Tomcat, later dash, probably a 1.6 or a 1.8. I think those were only two options after the new dash came in. Contrast, I think Tahiti blue this car is, and it's got the earlier dash in it, complete with a beige leather interior, viewers. That's nice. Turbo Technics, so probably 200 coupe turbo, and they are quite nippy. Yep, T-Series turbo, standard about 200 horsepower, but probably even more than that. Another car in the same colour, probably with a lower specification, judging by those wheels. Earlier dash, so probably the 1.6 Honda engine in that. Then later one, 1998, 1999 on an S. Spoiler needs painting unfortunately, but it's okay. Same here really. One of the later cars, the passenger airbag actually. Probably the 1.6K series, I'm not exactly sure. And then some more sort of earlier ones here. Yes, two earlier ones. This is a 1992 and 1993 car. Forget the name of this colour now. It will come to me maybe. And that is a 220 turbo. Like this one on the right hand side here, again in Nightfire Red. 1993, 1994 on an L. Someone's put all the specification on the information sheet there. And we have this iridescent colour here, or flip colour. Now this might well actually be a standard colour, but I did do one like this. With the earlier dash to be in 1995 on an N. This might even be one of the imported one, unless it was changed that plinth. Contrast here with the later one of Flame Red, 1999 on a T. There we go. And then this one, 220 turbo with some modifications. Be nice and quick. Ooh, for sale. Is this for sale? Must be the last T16 on a T plate. Now that would be a late registration then. I don't know how that would have appeared. We've got the early dash in here, so very, very late registration. This car would have been built no later than 1995, and yet it's got a T plate. So what that's going on with there, I really don't know. Gentleman who's advertising it, he wants £4,995 for it. And he says call 07980701718. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. And here we have a couple of FTHs. The FTH cars were registered NFTH. They were going to go to, I think, Japan, but they never did. They didn't make it, and so they were re-imported over here. But they all retained the amazing specification of Japanese cars. So they've all got air conditioning, for example, in them. And they all registered as sequence. They're all 220 turbos, I believe. Nice beige leather interior. So we approve. So another FTH car, this one in Tahiti blue, with some different wheels on it. Yeah, exciting. Next we've got some other R8s. We've got a 200 Cabrio here with a beige leather interior, wooden piping. This has got the 1.6 Honda engine in it with the automatic gearbox. Should be a 94 or 95. Very nice, very nice indeed actually. And then here we are, viewers, another car that I actually filmed on the channel, which was last month. This 1993 Rover 220 GTI. It is a really nice car. It does need a little bit of rust tidying up, but this car has had the same owner from new, a chap called Peter, and he really looks after it. Like, it's got some aftermarket accessories on it, which are from a dealer as well. It just needs a little bit tidying up, but yeah, about 30,000 miles on the clock. Then another Rover Cabrio. Interesting enough, it says the Rover badge on the left-hand side of the boot lid, which wouldn't have been there originally, apart from on the UK market cars. Probably a 1.6 Honda engine. Still got the early dash in it, I think so. The later dashes had K-series engines in them. Correct. Then we've got another one here. This I think is another later R8 3-door. This one is a 220 GSI. And another 3-door. Why have I so many 3-doors here? I mean, I'm delighted by it, but I'm just curious, that's all. There we go. And then one that looks like it's ready to go racing, an early car actually, on an H plate. First facelift occurred late 92, second facelift occurred late 93. This is before all that. And then a Honda Concerto, which was very heavily based on the R8 Rover 200. This is an EX model, I imagine, with probably a 1.5D series in it, with an automatic gearbox. Yeah, there we go. It says here, Concerto EX. I apologise, it's 1.6, not a 1.5, but it is still Honda D series engine. About a 91, I think that would be. Now we have something very special here, viewers. Really rather special. This one actually is a 220 GTI turbo. It's got a T series turbo engine in it, about 200 horsepower. Same as a Tomcat. So very rare. And actually these still have wood in them. So who says you can't have wood and go quickly, viewers? That's not the case. And then we have to skip that one and go on to another 3-door R8. There seems to be breeding around here today. Yes, there we go, viewers. And it is a 220 GTI. So a bit like the one that I filmed, the red one that you saw. And then a 216 GTI, a pre-facelift car, 1991, 1992, on a J. You could either get a manual or an auto. That's an auto. So yes, I think we've had our nice little fill of R8s, viewers, because everybody likes R8s, don't they? Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again in the next part for even more incorrect information.